Now you will see how you can use a random variable inside a class. So before that, let's consider a simple system Verilog class which can be used to represent a packet. Assume your packet has got three different fields: an address, and data, and some circular redundant C code or CRC. So this is a system Verilog definition of this particular class. Here class is a keyword, and again end class is another keyword, and the definition of the class is listed here within this keywords class and end class. So name of the class here, it is packet, and it has got three data members: address, data, and CRC. Here is a constructor of this particular class, function new, and to the constructor all these values of the data members are passed directly using these local variables, and the values that we are getting through the constructor is assigned to the original data members by using this operator, like this dot address is equal to address, and so on. All these are the basics of system Verilog object oriented programming, which I am not explaining here. Here you have defined a class named packet. Now if you want to send different data packets to your DUT, you have to create objects of this packet with different data with different values for the address and data. So here the three different objects are declared like packet P1, P2, P3, and within an initial begin the objects are created like P1 is equal to new, P2 is equal to new, and so on. And while creating itself, the values of this particular objects, that is address, data, and CRC, are passed to this new function. Or you can even directly assign the values like P1 dot address is equal to HA, P1 dot data is equal to DA, and so on. So if you wanted to say 10 different packets, you have to create 10 different objects, and you have to manually assign 10 different values to them. The complexity of your program will increase when you want to send more number of packets, or when you want to change the data values and address values of different individual packets. So this is a directed programming approach. Instead of it, if you can make this data members of this class as random, the job of assigning individual different values to the objects data members is getting eliminated. So this is how you can make a class members as random. You just need to add a keyword called rand to this class definition, or to the class member definition. So in the same class packet, before the member definition, I am adding a keyword rand. So rand logic 7.0 address. So this will make the address as a random data member of this particular class, which is of type logic 7.0. The same way, the data and CRC are also defined as random members by using the keyword rand. And as all these data members are random type, there is no point in defining or assigning a specific value to these members when you create them. So the new function is empty. And when you actually create an object of this packet and use them within the main program, there's a slight difference in the usage. So this is how it is. See, here I have defined three different objects of the class named packet, like P1, P2, and P3, and within an initial begin I am creating them one by one. When you called P1 is equal to new, there is no value getting assigned to these members because all these are random. So here what is happening is only a handle is created for this object, and here all these data member values, address, data, and CRC of this particular object P1 are unknown, or they are not unassigned. When you call a function called randomize, so this is a system Verilog specific function, you have to call this function by using an object name. So you have to, when you call a function randomize within an object like object.randomize, the random members or the random variables within this class definition will get valid random value according to the definition. So here, as I said earlier, address is a random member which is of type 7.0. So when you call p1.randomize, address will get any random value within 0 and 255 because it's limited to an 8-bit definition. And in the same way, p1.data and p1.crc will get random value, and p1.data will be of any value between 02 and 255, and p1.crc will be will get any value between 0 and 15 because it's limited to 15 bits, it's limited to 4 bits. Thus, if you can make your data members as a random type, You don't need to assign individual values to those data members. You just need to call a function called randomize, and those data members will get random values automatically. There is another point that I would like to emphasize here. When you call the object or randomize, it will return a false value or zero value if there is any problem encountered during the randomization process. So it can be an issue with the constraints that you have specified within the class, which you will be seeing in the next slides, or it can be any other issue. So if at all there is an error with the randomization, this function object.randomize will return a false value or return a value 0. So here my recommendation is you should always call an object.randomize function within an assert statement. So assert is another Systemverilog specific statement. So whenever there is a false condition occurred within the statement, it will print an error message here. So if the randomization is failing, and if you are calling this randomization statement within an assert function like assert within the bracket p2.randomize, then if at all an error happen in the randomization function, the simulation will stop here and it will print an error message saying p2.randomization failed with an error. It got encountered an issue. So you should always call an object.randomize function within an assert statement.